Rod here, the confidence coach. We are talking about aging this week, aging gracefully and graciously, because next week is my birthday and it's a pretty big one. I thought 50 was big until I hit this one, which is 60. All week this week, I've been sharing some thoughts with you, some ideas, some strategies about how you can open yourself up to good, even in aging. One of the things that came up for me today is that the older we get, the more we experience, the more difficulties we experience, the more things we are forced to face. We have losses, we have body changes, we have changes in our mind, even. We forget more things. There's different things that happen to us as we age. And it's not for the faint of heart. It really, truly isn't. Still, in all, the question is what's in your control and what's not in your control? We cannot we cannot control the things that happen, like the losses we suffer. We cannot control many of the things that happen as we age. The more life you live, the more life you live, right? But what can we control? What is in our control? What is in our control is our attitude, it's our mind, and to some extent, our bodies. The longer our body serves and supports us, the more things start to happen, right? That's why it's so important the younger we are to tend to the physical body. What is in your control? It's what you want. If you ask yourself, how do I want to be at this time? Even with the losses I have faced or with the trauma I have experienced, that's something that is in your control. If you're suffering in deep clinical depression, then I hope that you are under the care of a professional. It's so important to look at ourselves honestly, transparently, and lovingly to do what is needed as we age to maintain our physical well-being and mental well-being. But there are many things that we can do to improve the existence that we have. There are so many tools of mindfulness. I was just telling someone today in a session that I used to mock those tools. And if you've been following me a long time, you know that that's true. In my early type A days, I didn't give a hoot about breathing. I couldn't meditate. I couldn't focus. I thought all that was a bunch of BS, to tell you the truth, until I had my own little breakdown, which is what led to my breakthrough, just to open my mind and imagine the possibility that something could help me. That's why my tagline for my Confident Life coaching is imagine the possibilities, because that's what I did. And that's what served me. That's what helped to lift me up, just to begin to give me a different way of seeing things, a different way of being, a different way of thinking. I'm not all in anymore on this. I'm just in the first step with you, just the first little step, just taking some kind of step towards your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being is what I'm speaking with you about here in the confidence zone. What is in your control? There is so much that is not in our control that it's vital that we look and take responsibility, take control where it is that we can. Now, one of the ways that we can do that is giving ourselves permission to feel. It's not about being happy all the time, being joyful all the time. There's nothing all the time, because contrast serves us. So giving ourselves permission to feel, to grieve, to mourn, even to worry sometimes is necessary to help lift us up out of a dark place. Giving ourselves loving permission to feel, to be who we are, to be as we are when we're in a down time or a dark moment, that will support you. Staying in that place does not support you. So, what are the tools that you can use? My friend and I went on a 90-minute hike today on a mountain where the dogs were climbing up the mountain with us, racing in the field, and then swimming in the pond. We got it all covered in our hike today. And we were just saying how blessed we felt, how lucky we felt, and how grateful we are for our strong bodies and our ability, the lives that we created to be able to do that in the middle of a weekday. I didn't start out being able to do that. I grew the muscle of even walking. I never hiked in my life before. I was never a hiker before. If you're just following me now, you may be surprised to know that, but that was never a part. I didn't grow up hiking. That was never something that I did in the early years of my family, but it's a muscle that I grew because nature serves as one of the best emotional supports we can have. On my spiritual journey, on my personal transformation, nature served me as I was introduced to it just through walking, which was one of the simple things I did to begin to change the way I was from an earlier depressive, anxious, overweight person to something else because I no longer wanted to be that or feel that way. And so nature is one of those tools. Journaling is another tool that supported me. But honestly, just finding my breath was one of the most helpful things for me. I am going to be talking more and more about this idea. It's called the healer within. I don't know if you can see, there it is, the healer within. This was a book written by Roger Yanka, and I am going to be doing more and more work on this. I am a personal example of healing within. It wasn't immediate. It's been many, many years that I've been on this journey. And I can tell you without a doubt that I am evolving still as I focus more and more on this work, the embodiment it's called, finding your breath, getting into a meditative space. He also talks about self-massage, which is something I'll be speaking with you about in the future, and many other ways to support the life that you really want to live confidently, happily, and contentment. And so I want to wish for you that you find some peace this weekend. I hope you can get outside if you can. Do anything physical. Do anything to support your emotional self. Love on the people in your family while you can. Do anything to improve the relationships that you have. All these things make a big difference, but you don't have to do them all now. You can choose any tool that supports you, anything that will serve you, and take one step at a time. All right, friends, that's it for today. I am taking hiatus next week. It's my women's trip to Sedona, and it's my birthday. You will see me live next week for sure, but there will not be my daily live at 5. That's self-care. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom to those who celebrate, and to everyone else, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.